You may be seated. Good morning, Shabbat Shalom. Have you ever had anyone say to you, well, if you don't know, I'm not telling you? Or have you ever said that to anyone? Did it work? Was it like a super helpful thing? It rarely is. We kind of expect people somehow to be mind readers or to remember every single thing we ever said, and it really doesn't work out. We tend to get really mad at people who can't read our minds, or people get mad at us. And there's a wonderful teacher, Brene Brown. She's a lecturer and a writer. She's one of my favorites. And she tells a story that she used to be a competitive swimmer, and she hadn't done that in a long time, hadn't been swimming in a long time. In fact, hadn't worn a bathing suit in a long time. So she and her husband were on vacation by the lake, and she decides, today is the day that I'm going to try this. So she puts on her new bathing suit, and she and her husband go into the lake, and she says to her husband, "How do I look?" And he said, "I got to get out of here," and ran out of the river. out of the lake. And she is devastated. She is feeling rejection and hurt, and she's just conjuring up, he's not attracted to me anymore, he wants to leave, all these other things. And eventually she asked him, and he said, "I can't swim. I am afraid of drowning. When we were in that lake, I thought I was going to die, and that is the only thing I could think of. You look awesome." If she hadn't said something, she would have just kept going around and around. So what she decided to do is that whenever she's in an awkward situation, she tells the person, "This is the story I'm telling myself about what's happening." And that gives the person an opportunity to say, no, this wasn't really what was happening. This is what I was thinking. So instead of just assuming the person should have known instead of thinking why the other person should know what I'm thinking, you say it in a way that doesn't put a lot of pressure on the other person. Instead of saying, "Oh, you must be rejecting me," to say, "I feel this at the moment," and this gives an opportunity to open a conversation. In the Torah portion today, you have Isaac and Rebekah, who get very mad at their son Esav for doing something that they didn't approve of, and they cut him off. They are really angry at him. The problem is that they never told him about what mattered to them. He had no idea that they were going to be mad. In fact, he thought he was doing something good. He thought that he was going to do something that was pleasing to his parents, and it turned out that they were furious. But the poor guy had no idea whatsoever. And it really, really harmed the relationship. They get it right with Jacob, and they say to him, "Okay, this is what matters to us. These are our values." And then they could have a conversation, even if Jacob didn't necessarily buy in to all of it. But I always felt bad about Esau. The parents were basically, well, if you didn't know what the problem was, we can't tell you. And it creates a distance. Their relationship never really heals from that. So I think there is a value in saying what you think, not necessarily what to do. I think telling people what to do is a poor idea. I have people tell me all the time, "You need to tell that person what to do." Like, nope. First of all, you don't really know how it's going to be accepted or not. But I think it's okay to say, this is what matters to me. This is what I think. This is what I value. But what I think is also important here is to ask ourselves, are we the kind of person that our loved ones feel comfortable saying what they think? Or do they have to walk around on eggshells whenever they're near you? Or are they afraid that everything that they may say, you're going to immediately have a very, very negative and difficult reaction to it? You know, sometimes people don't share with us what they think because they're afraid of how we're going to react. Is that going to be the thing that sets us off? And so as important as it is to find out what the other person in your life who matters to you is thinking, it's probably more important to try to be that kind of person who is open to it, who doesn't blame everyone else for the situation, who never takes any kind of responsibility for their actions. So ask yourself, when you're having difficult encounters with someone, or you're just mad at someone in your family, you were really hoping they were going to do something and they didn't do it. Did you ever share that it mattered to you? Did you ever share your values? And did you create a sense in them that when they talk to you, you're open to them as well? So the next time you start to say to someone, well, if you don't know, I can't help you, just go with, this is the story I'm telling myself. Shabbat Shalom.